So we all know the feeling of doubting ourselves and being our own worst critic. But what if I told you that you could learn to trade your self-doubt for an amazing and impactful confidence that could attract the right people and opportunities into your life? Hi, I'm Jack Wolf. I'm an author and a life coach. I'm a naturally shy introvert, and I have learned through trial and error the best and worst ways to address social anxiety and to live free of the effects of social anxiety, to learn to talk to anyone and build strong, healthy relationships. In the next few minutes of this episode, I'm going to talk to you about 5 key strategies that you could begin to use today to diminish the effects of your negative self-talk and to foster confidence in your life. By the end of this episode, I'm going to teach you 5 key strategies that you can use to ignore that negative self-talk and to increase your confidence in a way that builds healthy relationships and helps you navigate social situations well, and you can begin to feel its effects within the first week. Before we begin, please like and subscribe, and also sign up for my newsletter. I send out tips and tricks for addressing social anxiety, and I discuss how you, as an introvert, could learn not only to overcome introverted tendencies and shyness, but also to learn to build your own business and become a successful entrepreneur using your introvert superpowers. Back to today's discussion. 5 key strategies for overcoming self-doubt and building confidence. The first one is self-care. Now, I know what you're thinking. The self-help industry has way overused the term self-care. I've seen it used in anything from fixing your car to fixing your life. The self-care that I'm talking about has to do with getting enough sleep, nutrition, and exercise that you can approach any situation from your best. Okay, now I'm not talking about pampering yourself, becoming self-absorbed, or creating some kind of a safety bubble around you, which prohibits the world from invading your life in any negativity, right? What I'm trying to say is there's a world out there that deserves your best. And if you're diminished because you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not getting enough nutrition in your diet or vitamins, or if you are not exercising properly, then you're going to find that your emotional state, your mental health will have already taken a hit before the problem comes. And now you'll be dealing with that problem from a position of survival and not from a position of thriving in life. Now, if there's someone that you need to address and speak to, you're already diminished, then what you will present to that other person will be less than your authentic self. It will be a tired, malnourished, or overweight version of yourself, which will affect your confidence. Meanwhile, your self-negative voice will be speaking to you, causing you to doubt and criticize yourself the entire time. So if you want to take care of that, step number 1, begin to take care of yourself. The second strategy I want to talk about has to do with comparing yourself to others. Now, this sounds pretty simple. Like, we all know we're not supposed to compare ourselves to others. But what I will tell you is that anytime you look at another person and use them in any way as a measuring stick for success regarding your own goals or your own desires, then you are going to cause self-doubt to come in because, well, you're not like the one that you are following in your mind. So self-doubt is fed by comparison. If you want to decrease self-doubt and increase your confidence, what you want to do is celebrate whenever you have done better than you have done in the past. Compare your current situation to your past situation. Compare your current successes to your past successes and celebrate growth. Now, you, in order to have confidence, need evidence to support that confidence. Otherwise, you're just making things up, and your brain knows that, and your brain will reject that false self-confidence, okay? So make sure you look at where you were, where you're going, where you've been, and what you have accomplished most recently as evidence to support your self-confidence. Along those lines, if you compare yourself to others, you are teaching yourself to look for something outside of yourself to bear witness to your confidence. You are now subject to the other person, that other metric, as being your bar for success, right? And so whenever you have something outside of yourself setting your value, your worth, your accomplishment, then you're now at the mercy of something outside of yourself, and that is never wise. By shifting this focus inward, then you will be able to start feeling a greater sense of self-worth and satisfaction in the journey of your life without the need to measure up to anyone else. Now that leads to the third step that I want to talk about today, and that is to treat yourself with kindness. I cringe a little bit as I say it because once again, I am very concerned that you might hear treating yourself with compassion as treating yourself with a safety bubble, a safety zone where nothing negative can come your way and you just filter out anything that isn't positive. And that just isn't realistic to life. And if you plan to own your own business, just expect many problems are going to come and you are going to have to overcome them all. But what I am saying is that often we introverts give other people a lot of grace, but we don't give ourselves the same level of grace. We're hard on ourselves. We're very critical on ourselves. Our whole attitude and mindset drops when we fail. And we don't look at failure as steps to success. We look at failure as something that defines us as failures. And so what I'm proposing here today is that you extend the same level of kindness to yourself that you would extend to your friend if you saw him or her fail. Now, when I was a kid, my mom used to say, treat others like you would like to be treated. And to you, my introverted friend, I would say, treat yourself like you treat other people, because you are a person of grace and mercy and kindness, and you believe the best in others. So I would like to advise you to do the same for yourself. When you make a mistake, it's okay. Let that set the tone for the fact that you are smart and you learn from experience, and you will not duplicate that mistake again. Rather, you will learn from it and you will grow. You will stand upon that failure as now an opportunity never to do that again, but to do something greater in the future. The fourth key strategy I want to talk to you about is, we all do things that we enjoy when we have free time. I would like for you to continue doing that because that builds confidence, but also add things into your day that you would not normally enjoy or choose for yourself had you not actually chosen to step outside of your comfort zone and do something you've never done. Now, the point of that is to learn resilience, okay? And so we introverts, when we are doing something we've never done before, we like to stand off to the side. We like to watch another person attempt it. We learn from their success. We learn from their failures. We learn the rules of the game. We learn exactly how and why certain steps are taken. And then we choose just maybe to engage as long as no one else is watching, right? That's the introverted way. What I'm encouraging you to do, though, is to step into something new and learn to enjoy being uncomfortable. Get outside of your comfort zone and tell yourself that this exercise is not about succeeding or failing. This exercise is simply about building your tolerance and resilience to something that is new and unfamiliar. Okay, so don't let the activity define who you are. Don't walk away feeling embarrassed if you don't do it well. And don't walk away feeling like you should be proud if you did. The point was never to succeed or fail. The point was to have fun as you build resilience. Never fail to step outside of your comfort zone every once in a while, because if you fail to do that, then your resilience muscle will atrophy. And in the end, you're going to find yourself gravitating only toward those things with which you are comfortable. And we introverts always need a good kick in the pants to do something when we aren't comfortable. All right. And the last key strategy for the day is begin setting healthy boundaries. A lot of times an introvert doesn't set boundaries well. We don't like confrontation, generally speaking. We don't like to use our words, and we don't like the stress of someone showing us negative emotions if they decide they don't want to heed our boundary. But what I want to emphasize here is that boundaries are about taking back your control. So in life, I have seen various studies, and I've even seen this in my own experience, that people who have no control are more depressed than those who have lots of control and lots of stress that goes with it. Okay, so picture the factory worker and the manager of the factory, right? The factory worker just does the same thing over and over and over, and he doesn't have control over the process. He doesn't have control over where those products go and how they're sold, right? That that worker only has control over doing the same steps over and over. Now, there's a manager upstairs, and he manages over the staff, and he manages all of the processes. He takes the blame when something breaks. He takes the blame when quotas aren't met. And yet, that manager will be happier overall in life, even if he's working more hours than the employees that are on the floor manufacturing products, because he has control over the process. The manufacturing team does not. And so I want to emphasize to you, drawing healthy boundaries takes back your control, which gives you some joy and diminishes your depression opportunities in life, okay? And as you get rid of depression, as you take back your autonomy, you're going to find a level of relief, which will spur creativity, which will free up emotional capacity to try new things, and will allow you to grow. When you set healthy boundaries, you're going to experience an immediate boost in your confidence as you reclaim your control. Now, be aware there will be some people that aren't going to like seeing you now set boundaries when you really haven't had a reputation for setting boundaries. That's okay. Just practice no on smaller, simpler things and learn to grow into it, okay? And in the end, just let your no be no. There's no need to explain yourself. The moment you explain yourself to someone else who asks, why are you saying no to me? The minute you come out and say, I need to say no, because you've now become a needy person, all right? And you're not a needy person. You want what you want, and you're worthy of wanting something and getting it if you can have it and earn it, right? So don't step into neediness and say, I need to do this. No, I want to do this. This is who I am. This is what I want. And if that person has any level of respect for you, then they will appreciate that. And if they don't respect you, you don't need to bow to their need anymore. If you do not have a boundary to differentiate between what is of you and what is not of you, then you can't have confidence, because you don't even know where you stand on a given issue. You usually will know that you will fold to the other person, which is the exact opposite of self-confidence. Now, I'm not talking about being stubborn or prideful or being difficult. You can always compromise with another person if the topic really doesn't matter to who you are. But there are moments where you need to set boundaries. And as you do, as you learn to perfect the word no, then you will take on an immediate boost to your confidence. So as promised, if you practice these 5 key strategies in 1 week, I promise you that you will experience a boost in your confidence, and you will diminish your self-doubt by a noticeable amount. As you practice it over the next 30 days, over the next 3 months, you're going to see even more growth, and you'll see how that confidence begins to shape your social interactions, as well as your desire to go out and pursue new things. Don't be surprised if you suddenly feel more creative, or if you have an appetite to try something new, or if you just decide that now is the time to go out and start that new business of yours. It's been on the shelf for far too long. That is your boost of energy, so enjoy it. If you found these tips helpful, then I would invite you to subscribe to my newsletter, as I said before, where I send out weekly tips and tricks for dealing with confidence and social anxiety and active listening and relationship building, social skills, emotional intelligence skills. I also have my podcast available, The Life Sculptor Blueprint, where I teach people how to use their introverted skills to build their business. I invite you to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or on any of the major networks. The link is in my bio as well. And for a deeper dive into mastering conversations specifically, I would invite you to buy my book, How to Talk to Anyone, Social Skills Made Easy. It takes my lifetime worth of discovery and compacts it into one actionable book, 10 chapters long. It will change the way you approach people, because it will change the way that you approach yourself. Thanks for joining me today. Remember, the power to build your resilience and to change your social situation depends on you. If you don't begin to engage transformation on your own behalf, then no one else will. Start today, and I promise you will begin to see the difference. Okay, my friend, go out there and get them. We'll talk soon.